Did my next guest hear her? He's calling this outrage manufactured, and he's calling the folks behind these tea parties nothing but a bunch of right-wingers angry that their guy didn't win the White House. Steve Laser is the editor of Op-Ed News. Okay, Steve, you just heard Karen Manson. She's outraged. Is she faking it?
Well, thank you very much for having me on your show, Stuart. I appreciate it. I don't doubt that individuals, Democrats, Republicans, have strong feelings about taxes. But the fact is these tax day tea parties are a sham and a fraud. I mean, they're being presented as this organic grassroots movement.
That's a very, very strong language to use. I read your piece. I read your column. You're saying the outrage is faked, that this is a political spectacle. You've just used the word sham and a fraud. Is the $2 trillion deficit that this administration has run up, is that a sham and a fraud? Are you dismissing this out of hand? Doesn't exist?
No, absolutely. In terms of the deficit, we have an economic crisis going on that this administration inherited from the previous Republican administration. As a matter of fact, if you look back at it, 20 out of the last 28 years...
Wait a minute. You're dismissing these people as fraudulent. You're dismissing the protesters as fraudulent.
I'm dismissing the
protests as fraudulent.
That's absolutely correct.
And you're staring in the face a $2 trillion deficit, which is real, and you're dismissing it. You're insulting people,
I'm not dismissing it.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not insulting people. Absolutely not. I'm insulting the way the movement is being portrayed. It is a sham. The way this movement is being portrayed is a sham and a fraud. It's not an organic grassroots movement like it's being portrayed. There's 10 Republican think tanks, heavily funded by top Republican corporations and headed by people like Dick Armey and Steve Forbes. Those are the people who have created and organized this so-called grassroots movement.
The lady we just had on was not paid by anybody. She sees a $2 trillion deficit affecting her family. She is outraged. There's nothing fake there. There's nothing fraudulent there. She wasn't pushed into this by any corporation, any political activist. Her 401k has been cut in half. She is outraged. And you're calling this a sham? You're saying that that lady was fraudulent? That's nonsense, sir. And that is an insult to a very fine woman who's merely being a political activist. Nothing wrong with that.
No, I never insulted her or any of the other people who feel strongly about this. I'm saying the way that this is being portrayed is a sham.
There are grassroots movements throughout this country. I've got a list here. There's literally hundreds of these tea parties taking place. I believe it moves into the thousands. You're saying that this is all whipped up by some right-wing conspiracy? That's the nature of the fraud?
Well, if you look back at it, I mean, the ChicagoTeaParty.com website was actually created or registered in August of 2008. That's long before Obama was even president or had the chance to enact any of his policies. This has actually been in the works for a very long time. You know, again, it's being portrayed as something recent and something spontaneous, but it's anything but that.
What do you think we should do about the $2 trillion deficit? Before you blame it on President Bush, what would you do about it right now? Would you protest it? What would be the extent of your political protest if you don't like a $2 trillion deficit? What would you do?
I would listen to President Obama, because what he has basically said is this is an emergency action that he's taking to get the economy back on course, but actually what he's doing in the next few years after this is trying to get the budget back on track. I mean, and let's face it, Democrats have a good track record with regard to balancing the budget. The last three Republican administrations don't.
Okay, now we're off into Never Never Land. But so, someone who has lost half their pension money, they're losing half of their income to taxes. They see the government spending money hand over fist. They are fraudulent if they get together and organize a mass protest across the country. That's fraudulent.
No. I wouldn't say that they're fraudulent. I would ask them, where were they during the last 28 years, 20 of which we had a Republican administration in office that ran massive deficits.
It's only in the last 2 or 3 months, in fact, it's only in the last 6 weeks, that the extent of this problem has emerged. The extent of congressional spending, the extent of the deficit, the impending huge tax increases that we face, it's only become apparent in the last 6 weeks, during which time we've had a Democrat Congress and a Democrat in the White House.
Yeah, I can't let you get away with that, Stuart. We've had 20 years of the last 28 years of massive, Republican federal deficits. You know that there are half of the people alive in America right now have never seen a balanced Republican budget. Do you know that, Stuart? Half of the people alive in America right now have never seen a balanced Republican federal budget.
By signing the stimulus package, the president added $800 billion to the deficit going forward. He has doubled the deficit in his very short time in office. He unleashed all of this spending going way out into the future. He is responsible for this very large deficit and the one coming up next year and the year after that. He is responsible for the vast increase in taxes that will reach down to all sections of our society. He is doing this. They are protesting that. They are not fraudulent. It is not a sham. It is a grassroots movement against the sudden development that we have seen in the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, because this administration has changed the direction of the economy towards more government and less private enterprise. That's what's happened, and that's what these people are protesting. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is not a sham, and it is not a fraud.
It absolutely is, Stuart. It's amazing to me that any Republican with a straight face can try to talk about fiscal responsibility. Republicans have absolutely no credibility on fiscal responsibility.
Okay. Well, Steve, it was a pleasure having you with us. It's now my great duty
to promote